Welcome back to CEtrends, where our in-depth coverage of the Sean Diddy Combs trial continues. If you tuned in before the break, you witnessed a defense cross-examination of Cassie Ventura that aimed to dissect the very foundation of their 11-year relationship, probing into moments of alleged love and consensual intimacy. But the afternoon session brought a renewed intensity, with the defense pressing further, seeking to challenge Ventura's narrative and introduce new layers of complexity to the jury. Forget the midday lull. The courtroom crackled with anticipation as Cassie Ventura returned to the stand. The defense, spearheaded by Ana Estevao, didn't let up, continuing their strategy of presenting text messages and probing Ventura's recollections in an attempt to paint a picture of a relationship far more nuanced and perhaps more consensual than the prosecution's portrayal. But did their continued line of questioning truly undermine Ventura's allegations, or did it simply reveal the messy contradictions that can exist within a long and tumultuous relationship? The afternoon session saw a deeper dive into the graphic text messages surrounding the freak-offs. The defense highlighted exchanges from March 2017 where Ventura told Combs, "I love our freak-offs when we both want it." This seemingly direct affirmation was immediately met with Ventura's crucial context. I would say that loving freak-offs were just words at that point. This stark contrast between the written word and her current testimony raises a critical question. What events led to this significant shift in her perception and articulation of these encounters? Was it a gradual erosion of consent, or a facade she maintained to navigate a difficult situation? The defense then introduced a chilling element, text messages from Combs to Ventura referencing a surprise package coming from out of state, which Ventura confirmed was a veiled reference to arranging escorts for their freak-offs. This detail, while seemingly corroborating Ventura's participation, could also be interpreted by the prosecution as further evidence of Combs's orchestration and control over these encounters, highlighting Ventura's potential lack of genuine agency. The focus then shifted to other relationships, with Ventura detailing her jealousy towards Kim Porter and a woman named Gina, while also acknowledging Combs' suspicion of her relationships with other men, including actor Michael B. Jordan. The defense's brief mention of Jordan and their swift pivot away raises a tantalizing question. What was the intended purpose of introducing this detail? Was it to suggest Ventura also engaged in relationships outside of Combs, thus challenging the narrative of her being solely under his control? A significant portion of the afternoon also centered on a lengthy 17-page text exchange between Ventura and Combs. While discussing plans to meet in New York City, the conversation also touched upon escorts and a sex club. When the defense attempted to move on to another exhibit, Ventura interjected, pointedly asking if they were focusing on what she felt was relevant, highlighting the potential for the defense to cherry-pick messages that supported their narrative while omitting crucial context. This moment underscores the ongoing battle for control over the story being presented to the jury. Legal experts following the proceedings noted the defense's continued strategy of trying to characterize Ventura as a consenting adult in the freak-offs, using these text messages as key evidence. However, as one commentator pointed out, the defense still needed to connect these early, seemingly willing exchanges with the later allegations of violence and coercion. The prosecution, it was suggested, would likely attempt to bridge this gap during their redirect examination, arguing that any initial participation was ultimately overshadowed by later abuse and a lack of genuine consent. Ventura also addressed the issue of women on social media claiming relationships with Combs, stating it happened frequently. When asked if she reacted, she specifically mentioned Gina as the main source of conflict. This reinforces the theme of jealousy and potential instability within the relationship. The revelation that Ventura used a burner phone to communicate with Kid Cudi due to fear of Combs discovering the relationship adds another layer of complexity. Her statement that she continued to have freak-offs with Combs during this break because it was a job is particularly chilling, suggesting a sense of obligation or coercion that transcended her personal feelings. A message from 2013 revealed Ventura's frustration at not being able to form a relationship with Combs's children, highlighting a potential emotional distance and further underscoring the imbalanced nature of their connection. Throughout the afternoon, observers noted Combs's active engagement in the courtroom, writing on orange sticky notes and passing them to his legal team, indicating a close involvement in the defense's strategy. As the clock ticked towards the end of the day, the urgency to conclude Ventura's testimony before her expected delivery became even more apparent, with the court condensing lunch breaks and exploring ways to expedite the defense's questioning. Finally, the defense revisited the alleged balcony incident involving Ventura's friend, presenting a text message that seemed to contradict Ventura's earlier account. This direct challenge to her memory and credibility could be a significant point for the defense moving forward. So as Day 4 drew to a close, the key questions intensified. Did the defense's continued presentation of text messages effectively portray Ventura as a fully consenting adult throughout her relationship with Combs, or did it simply highlight the complexities and potential inconsistencies within a long and evolving dynamic? How will the jury interpret Ventura's explanation that her seemingly enthusiastic messages about freak-offs were just words at that point? Will they see it as a sign of coercion or a later rationalization? What impact will the revelation of Combs arranging escorts have on the jury's understanding of the power dynamics and Ventura's level of genuine consent? Will the defense's attempts to highlight other relationships and potential inconsistencies in Ventura's testimony significantly damage her credibility in the eyes of the jury? And with the looming deadline for Ventura's testimony due to her pregnancy, how will this time constraint impact the thoroughness of the cross-examination and the overall presentation of the defense's case? Day 4 left us with more questions than answers, setting the stage for what promises to be a crucial Day 5. Stay with CEtrends as we continue to bring you every critical development in this gripping trial. Welcome back to CEtrends, your trusted source for the latest developments in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. As we rejoin the proceedings on Day 4, the cross-examination of Cassie Ventura continues, with the defense team strategically dissecting her testimony. If you were with us before the break, you witnessed their focus on the affectionate aspects of their relationship and Ventura's participation in the controversial freak-offs. Now, as the afternoon unfolds, the defense intensifies its efforts to paint a more complex picture, challenging the prosecution's narrative of coercion and control. The jury's attention remains fixed as the defense delves deeper into the intricate web of text messages exchanged between Ventura and Combs. Following up on the contentious freak-offs, the defense presented a message from March 2017 where Ventura explicitly stated, "I love our freak-offs when we both want it." This seemingly direct endorsement is a cornerstone of the defense's argument, aiming to portray Ventura as a willing participant. However, Ventura's immediate clarification that these were merely words at that point injects a crucial layer of ambiguity. What circumstances transformed these seemingly enthusiastic messages into empty words? What transpired in the intervening years to alter her perception so drastically? This disconnect is a key battleground in this trial, adding a potentially damning detail. The defense unveiled text messages where Combs referred to a surprise package coming from out of state. A phrase Ventura confirmed was code for arranging escorts for their freak-offs. While this admission corroborates Ventura's involvement, it simultaneously raises questions about the power dynamics at play. Was Ventura a genuine participant, or was she complying under duress, navigating a situation orchestrated by Combs? The prosecution will likely argue the latter, emphasizing Combs' control over the arrangements. The defense then pivoted to the complexities of their other relationships. Ventura openly discussed her jealousy regarding Combs' involvement with Kim Porter and another woman named Gina. Conversely, she acknowledged Combs' suspicion of her own relationships, notably with actor Michael B. Jordan, a point the defense briefly touched upon before moving swiftly on. Why this fleeting mention of Jordan? Was it a subtle attempt to suggest Ventura also had relationships outside of Combs, thereby challenging the image of her being entirely under his control? The defense's brevity on this topic leaves room for speculation. A significant portion of the afternoon's proceedings revolved around a sprawling 17-page text message exchange between Ventura and Combs. While ostensibly planning a weekend in New York City, the conversation also included arrangements for escorts and a visit to a sex club. In a telling moment, when the defense attempted to transition to a different exhibit, Ventura interjected, questioning the relevance of the selected messages and implying that crucial context was being omitted. This highlights the ongoing struggle to control the narrative presented to the jury, with both sides strategically choosing which pieces of evidence to emphasize. Legal experts observing the trial underscore the defense's consistent strategy to convince the jury that Ventura was a consenting adult in these freak-offs, using these text messages as primary evidence. However, the critical challenge for the defense remains connecting these early exchanges with the later, more serious allegations of violence and coercion detailed in Ventura's direct testimony. As legal commentators suggest, the prosecution's upcoming redirect examination will likely focus on bridging this gap, arguing that any initial consent was ultimately eroded by abuse and a lack of genuine autonomy. Ventura also addressed the pervasive issue of women on social media claiming relationships with Combs, stating it was a frequent occurrence. Her specific mention of Gina as a source of conflict reinforces the narrative of jealousy and instability within their relationship. The revelation of Ventura using a burner phone to communicate with rapper Kid Cudi due to fear of Combs' reaction adds another layer of intrigue. Her chilling admission that she continued to engage in freak-offs with Combs during this period because it felt like a job speaks volumes about the potential power imbalance and her sense of obligation, even during a break in their romantic relationship. A poignant message from 2013 revealed Ventura's deep frustration at her inability to form a meaningful relationship with Combs' children, highlighting the emotional distance, and further underscoring the potentially self-centered nature of Combs' world. Throughout the afternoon, Combs himself remained an active participant in the courtroom, diligently writing notes on orange sticky pads and passing them to his legal team, signaling his close involvement in shaping the defense's strategy. The impending deadline for the conclusion of Ventura's testimony, driven by concerns about her advanced pregnancy, loomed large, with the court implementing measures to expedite the defense's cross-examination. Finally, the defense revisited the disturbing alleged balcony incident involving Ventura's friend, presenting a text message that appeared to contradict Ventura's earlier account. This direct challenge to her memory and credibility could be a pivotal point for the defense as they seek to undermine her overall testimony. As Day 4 concluded, the central questions surrounding Ventura's credibility and the true nature of her relationship with Combs remained intensely debated. Did the defense's continued focus on text messages effectively portray Ventura as a consistently consenting adult, or did it merely expose the complexities and potential contradictions inherent in a long and evolving relationship marked by alleged abuse? How will the jury reconcile Ventura's seemingly contradictory statements about the freak-offs, particularly her assertion that later affirmations were just words? Will they interpret this as evidence of coercion or a later attempt to reframe her past actions? What impact will the revelation of Combs arranging escorts have on the jury's understanding of the power dynamics and Ventura's genuine autonomy in these encounters? Will the defense's attempts to highlight other relationships and potential inconsistencies in Ventura's testimony significantly erode her credibility in the eyes of the jury? And with the looming time constraints on Ventura's testimony, will the defense be able to thoroughly present their case, and will the prosecution have sufficient opportunity to rehabilitate their star witness on redirect examination? The afternoon session of Day 4 left us with a multitude of unanswered questions, setting the stage for what promises to be a highly anticipated continuation of the cross-examination. Stay tuned to CEtrends as we meticulously dissect every crucial development in this compelling trial. Here at CEtrends, our commitment is to provide you with unbiased and in-depth analysis of the most significant celebrity news stories. Day 4 of the Sean Diddy Combs trial showcased the defense's strategic efforts to complicate the narrative presented by the prosecution. By focusing on text messages and Ventura's own words, they aimed to challenge the portrayal of a straightforward victim-abuser dynamic. Our goal is to provide you with the context and expert insights to understand the legal strategies at play and the potential implications of this testimony. We strive to cut through the noise and deliver clear, accessible information, empowering you to form your own informed opinions. What are your key takeaways from the afternoon session of Day 4? Were there any specific text message exchanges or lines of questioning that stood out to you? Do you believe the defense is successfully complicating the prosecution's case? Share your thoughts and interpretations in the comment section below. Your engagement fuels our community here at CEtrends. If you value our comprehensive and analytical coverage of high-profile celebrity trials and entertainment news, please take a moment to subscribe to CEtrends and activate the notification bell. By subscribing, you ensure you never miss our in-depth reports and stay informed about the stories shaping the entertainment landscape. Your support enables us to continue delivering this level of detailed analysis. To further enhance your understanding of the complexities surrounding this trial, we recommend exploring the following videos on the CEtrends channel. Diddy Trial Day 4. What the defense uncovered will make you question everything. Or Inside the Diddy Trial. Shocking testimony and the $20 million question. Thank you for staying informed with CEtrends. We will continue to meticulously cover every development in the Sean Diddy Combs trial, providing you with the insightful analysis you've come to expect. Don't go anywhere.